So, welcome everybody. As you know that we are celebrating Sri Ramakrishna's birthday today. Most of you are online because of the weather, I know. So we will start with a reading from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Master Mashay has just started his visits to the Master. So he asks Sri Ramakrishna about how people living in the world can fix their minds on God. So this answer of Sri Ramakrishna actually contains the essentials of spiritual life. It contains the most important points in a very brief manner. So M asks the Master, "How, sir, may we fix our minds on God?" Sri Ramakrishna answers, "Repeat God's name and sing His glories, and keep holy company, and now and then visit God's devotees and holy men. The mind cannot dwell on God if it is immersed day and night in worldliness, in worldly duties and responsibilities. It is most necessary to go into solitude now and then and think of God. To fix the mind on God is very difficult in the beginning unless one practices meditation in solitude. To meditate, you should withdraw within yourself or retire to a secluded corner or to the forest. And you should always discriminate between the real and the unreal. God alone is real, the eternal substance. All else is unreal. That means impermanent. By discriminating thus, one should remove one's attachment to impermanent objects." Master Masha again asks, "Sir, how ought we to live in the world?" Master, "Do all your duties, but keep your mind on God. Live with all, with wife and children, father and mother, and serve them. Treat them as if they were very dear to you, but know in your heart of hearts that they do not belong to you. If you enter the world without first cultivating love for God, you will be entangled more and more. You will be overwhelmed with its danger, its grief, its sorrows. And the more you think of worldly things, the more you will be attached to them. First, rub your hands with oil and then break open the jackfruit. Otherwise, the hands will be smeared with its sticky milk. First, secure the oil of divine love and then set your hands to the duties of the world. But one must go into solitude to attain this divine love. To get butter from milk, you must let it set into curd in a secluded spot. If it is disturbed too much, milk won't turn into curd. The world is water and the mind milk. If you pour milk into water, they become one. You cannot find the pure milk anymore. But turn the milk into curd and churn it into butter. Then when the butter is placed in water, it will float. So practice spiritual discipline in solitude and obtain the butter of knowledge and love. Even if you keep that butter in the water of the world, the two will not mix. The butter will then float. So we will start with the hymn which Swami Vivekananda has written about Sri Ramakrishna. So here Swami Vivekananda tells us that the same entity, same reality which had come to the earth before as other incarnations has now come to the earth as Sri Ramakrishna in this age. Pratihatayo yasya prema pravaha lokatito yanajaho Trailokepya pratimamahima Janaki pranabandho bhaktya jnanam vritavarabapuh sitaya He who was Sri Rama, whose stream of love flowed with resistless might even to the outcast, who was ever engaged in doing good to the world, though superhuman by nature, whose renown there is none to equal in the three worlds, who was Sita's beloved, whose body of knowledge supreme was covered by devotion sweet in the form of Sita. Stabdhi kritya pralaya kalitam vahavotham mahantam etvaratrim prakriti सहजां अन्धतामिश्रमेषां गीतं शान्तं मधुरमपि यः सिंहनादं जगर्ज सोऽयं जातः प्रथितपुरुषो Ramakrishna Sridhari. He who quelled the noise, terrible like that at the time of destruction, arising from the battle of Kurukshetra, who destroyed the terrible yet natural night of ignorance of Arjuna, and he roared the Gita out, sweet and appeasing. That renowned soul is now born as Sri Ramakrishna. Hail, O Lord of men, victory unto you. I surrender myself to my Guru, the physician for the malady of samsara, who is, as it were, a wave rising in the ocean of Shakti, who has shown various sports of divine love, and who is the weapon to destroy the demon of doubt. I surrender myself to my Guru, the man God, the physician for the malady of this samsara, whose mind ever dwelt on the non-dualistic truth, whose personality was covered by the cloth of supreme devotion, who was ever active for the good of humanity, and whose actions were all superhuman. Hail, hail, O Lord of men, glory be unto you. This is the translation of this second part of this song. So now we will read the narration of the birth of Sri Ramakrishna as told by Swami Sardananda in the life of Sri Ramakrishna, which he has written in Bengali. He writes, "Spring, the king of seasons, had arrived after fall and winter. The weather was neither cold nor hot, and all of creation pulsated with new life. It was the 6th day of the pleasant month of Falgun, that is, mid-February to mid-March. An upsurge of zeal, joy and love was visible among the people. One spring day, Chandra means the mother of Sri Ramakrishna, was cooking food for Raghuveer. She was nearing the end of her pregnancy, and although she was experiencing celestial bliss in her heart, physically she was extremely exhausted. But we know that Shudiram, seeing this condition, had arranged for Dhani to be with Chandra Devi at this time. So when Chandra Devi expressed her concern to her husband, Shudiram assured her, "Don't fear. He who is in your womb would never enter our home at a time when the worship of Raghuveer would be disturbed. I have asked Dhani to begin sleeping here tonight." So on this day, the day on which Sri Ramakrishna was born, about 12 minutes before dawn, Chandra Devi felt the first labor pain. Dhani immediately escorted her to the shed, and as soon as she lay down, she gave birth to a male child. After providing Chandra with the necessary help, Dhani turned her attention to the baby. But he had disappeared from where she had put him. Alarmed, Dhani turned up the flame of the oil lamp and searched the hut. She found that the baby, who was covered with blood and fluid, had slid over the floor and was lying in the wood-burning stove, besmeared with ashes. Nevertheless, the baby did not cry. Dhani then carefully lifted him up, washed him, and saw in the light of the lamp a wonderfully handsome child who looked as if he were 6 months old. In the meantime, a few of Chandra's friends, including Prasanna and some women of the Laha family, had been summoned. When they arrived, Dhani told them the good news. At the auspicious and solemn moment before sunrise, Shudiram's humble but holy cottage reverberated with the sound of conch shells, proclaiming to the world the advent of a great soul. Being well versed in the scriptures, Shudiram checked the astrological signs of the newborn child and found that he had come into the world at a very auspicious moment. Later, some distinguished astrologers studied the time of his birth and said to Shudiram that the child had been born during an auspicious arrangement of the planets. Astrological science concludes such a person will be profoundly religious, highly respected, and he will always be engaged in virtuous deeds. He will live in a temple surrounded by many disciples. He will establish a new religious order, and he will be renowned all over the world as a great soul, and will be worshipped by the people as a part of Narayana. Narayana here denotes the Supreme Godhead. And about the qualities of head and heart which Sri Ramakrishna possessed, Swami Vivekananda has said, Shankaracharya had a great head and Buddha had a large heart. and the time was ripe for one to be born, the embodiment of both this head and heart. The time was ripe for one to be born, who in one body would have the brilliant intellect of Shankara and the wonderfully expansive infinite heart of Chaitanya. One who would see in every sect the same spirit working, the same God. One who would see God in every being. One whose heart would weep for the poor, for the weak, for the outcast, for the downtrodden, for everyone in this world, inside India or outside India, and at the same time whose grand, brilliant intellect would conceive of such noble thoughts as would harmonize all conflicting sects, not only in India but outside of India as well, and bring a marvelous harmony, the universal religion of head and heart, into existence. Such a man was born, and I had the good fortune to sit at his feet for years. The time was ripe. It was necessary that such a man should be born, and he came. And the most wonderful part of it was that his life's work was just near a city which was full of Western thought, a city which had run mad after these Occidental ideas, a city which had become more Europeanized than any other city in India. There he lived without any book learning whatsoever. This great intellect never learnt even to write his own name. But the most brilliant graduates of our university found in him an intellectual giant. Now we will have one song which describes again, of course, the birth of Sri Ramakrishna. It says that who has come to Kamarpukur, as you know, the village in which Sri Ramakrishna was born, who has come to Kamarpukur bringing joy to everybody. Now that he has come, the dark night of ignorance has passed and the sunlight of knowledge has arisen. And then he described the childhood of Sri Ramakrishna, how he used to play in the mango groves, etc. And he says that this divine play one wants to behold all the time, the divine play which Sri Ramakrishna enacted. Shilo নবগান, পুলকে নাচিয়া উঠে প্রাণ। কেউই আসিল রে আমার পুকুরে, পুলকে নাচিয়া উঠে প্রাণ। মানিক রাজার আম্রকাননে, কেউই শিশু খেলে উল্ল আলোনে। মানিক রাজার আম্রকাননে, কেউই শিশু খেলে উল্ল আলোনে। লীলা অভিনয় নব নব গানে, লীলা অভিনয় নব নব গানে। হিয়া শিহরিয়া ওঠে প্রাণ, পুলকে নাচিয়া ওঠে প্রাণ। কেউই আসিল রে আমার পুকুরে, পুলকে নাচিয়া উঠে প্রাণ। কত গানে গানে অনিয় কথায়, পলকেতে পরানো মাতা। কত গানে গানে অনিয় কথায়, পলকেতে পরানো মাতা। মন প্রাণারাম লীলা অভিরাম, মন প্রাণারাম লীলা অভিরাম। আখি সদা নিরখিতে যায়, আমারেও নাম তোমার খেলায়, আমারেও নাম তোমার খেলায়। ভাইরে গদাই ধরি দুটি পায়, আমারেও নাম তোমার খেলায়। ভাইরে গদাই ধরি দুটি পায়, যুগে যুগে হরি তোমার লীলায়, যুগে যুগে হরি তোমার লীলায়। লহ মম তনু মন প্রাণ, পুলকে নাচিয়া উঠে প্রাণ। কেউই আসিল রে আমার পুকুরে, পুলকে নাচিয়া উঠে প্রাণ। দুঃখ নিশা কাটিল, সুখ রবি হাসিল, গগনে উঠিল নবগান, পুলকে নাচিয়া উঠে প্রাণ। কেউই আসিল রে আমার পুকুরে, পুলকে নাচিয়া উঠে প্রাণ। So, about who came to the earth as Shri Ramakrishna. What was his real nature according to Swami Vivekananda? And another one of Shri Ramakrishna's disciples, whose name was Swami Shivananda. So, in In a letter which Swami Vivekananda writes to Swami Shivananda, he says, "My dear brother, that Ramakrishna Paramahansa was God incarnate, I have not the least doubt." This is one statement. Then, one day in Belur Math, Swamiji was conversing with his disciple, whose name was Sharat Chandra Chakravarti. So this disciple directly asked Swami Vivekananda. He asked, "Sir, did Sri Ramakrishna out of his own lips ever say that he was God, the all-perfect Brahman who had come down in human form?" Swamiji replies, "Yes, he did so many times. And he said this to all of us. One day, while he was staying at the Kashipur garden house, he was suffering from cancer at that time, and his body was in imminent danger of falling off forever. I was standing by the side of his bed and thinking." Swami Vivekananda was thinking. He did not say anything, he just thought. He thought, well, now, in this terrible pain, if you can declare that you are God, then only will I believe that you are really God Himself. It was just 2 days before Sri Ramakrishna had passed away. Immediately, as soon as the thought came to Swami Vivekananda's mind, Sri Ramakrishna looked up towards him and said, "O Naren, don't you still have faith? He who was Rama, he who was Krishna, verily, he is now Ramakrishna in this body. And that not merely from the standpoint of your Vedanta." At this I was struck dumb. Take it from me, never did come to this earth such an all-perfect man as Sri Ramakrishna. In the utter darkness of the world, this great man is like the shining pillar of illumination in this age. And by his light will human beings now cross the ocean of this samsara. That is, samsara here means relative existence. And I will quote another disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Shivananda. So once Romain Roland, he has written the life of Sri Ramakrishna, and once he had asked Swami Shivananda about how he looked upon the Master. So Swami Shivananda wrote to him in a letter. Swami Shivananda writes, "I have not yet come to a final understanding whether Sri Ramakrishna was a man or a superman, a god or God Himself. But I have known him to be a man of complete self-effacement, master of the highest renunciation, possessed of supreme wisdom, and the very incarnation of love. And as I am slowly getting better and better acquainted with the domain of spirituality and feeling the infinite extent and depth of Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual moods, the conviction is growing in me that to compare him with God, as God is popularly understood, would be minimizing and lowering his supreme greatness. I have seen him showering his love equally on men and women, on the learned and the ignorant, and on saints and sinners, and evincing earnest and unceasing solicitude for the relief of their misery and for their attainment to infinite peace through the realization of the divine. And I dare say that the world has not seen another man of his kind in modern times, so devoted to the welfare of humankind. So we can have another song about the birth of Sri Ramakrishna. Here, this is written by Girish Chandra Ghosh, who was also a disciple of the Master. So here he describes the scene when the newly born Sri Ramakrishna is lying on his mother's lap. This is the scene he describes. And he says that lying on this Brahmani's lap and illumining the whole place, who are you? Who are you who have come into this small hut? And you are the jewel of the world, and have you come because you have seen this world full of misery, and have you come to give your vision to those who are suffering so that they may attain immortal peace and bliss? And then he describes that your form is beautiful. However much I look at you, my eyes never seem to be satisfied, and I wish that I could establish you in my heart forever. বদনে এসেছো একা বদনে করুণা মাখা হাসো কাঁদো করো তরে ব্যথিতে কি দিতে দেখা গোপনে এসেছো একা বদনে করুণা মাখা হাসো কাঁদো করো তরে মরি মরি রূপ হেরি নয়ন বিরাতে নারী মরি মরি রূপ হেরি নয়ন বিরাতে নারী হৃদয় সন্তাপ হারি সাধু ধরি হৃদি পরে দুঃখিনী ব্রাহ্মণী করে কে শুয়েছ আলো করে কে রে দিগম্বর এসেছ কুটির ঘরে দুঃখিনী ব্রাহ্মণী করে কে শুয়েছ আলো করে So what was the message of the master? What was the most important part of Sri Ramakrishna's teaching? So of course the best guide again is Swami Vivekananda. So I'll just read what he has to say about this. Swami Vivekananda says, this is the message of Sri Ramakrishna to the modern world. Do not care for doctrines, do not care for dogmas or sects or churches or temples. They count for little compared with the essence of existence in each man, which is spirituality. And the more this is developed in a man, the more powerful is he for good. Earn that first, acquire that, and criticize no one, for all doctrines and creeds have some good in them. Show by your lives that religion does not mean words or names or sects, but that it means spiritual realization. Only those can understand who have felt. Only those who have attained to spirituality can communicate it to others, can be great teachers of mankind. They alone are the powers of light. My master's message to mankind is, be spiritual and realize truth for yourself. He would have you give up for the sake of your fellow beings. He would have you cease talking about love for your brother and set to work to prove your words. The time has come for renunciation, for realization, and then you will see the harmony in all the religions of the world. Then you will know that there is no need of any quarrel, and then only will you be ready to help humanity. To proclaim and make clear the fundamental unity underlying all religions was the mission of my master. This is what he says in a very brief manner. So one song which a very senior member has asked me to sing, I will sing now. So actually I did not know that so many people would turn up, otherwise I would have taken printout. But you can sing together because I will repeat this. I think we have done this before. Bhajo Ramakrishna, Kaho Ramakrishna, Laho Ramakrishna Naam Re means it just means that take God's name, think about Him. Those who think of God are very dear to me. This is the simple meaning. Bhajo Ramakrishna, Kaho Ramakrishna, Laho Ramakrishna Naam Re. Bhajo Ramakrishna, Kaho Ramakrishna, Laho Ramakrishna Naam Re. যে জনা রামকৃষ্ণ ভজে সে হয় আমার প্রাণ রে। যে জনা রামকৃষ্ণ ভজে সে হয় আমার প্রাণ রে। ভজ রামকৃষ্ণ, ভজ রামকৃষ্ণ, লব রামকৃষ্ণের নাম রে। যে জনা রামকৃষ্ণ ভজে সে হয় আমার প্রাণ রে। ভজ রামকৃষ্ণ, কহ রামকৃষ্ণ, লব রামকৃষ্ণের নাম রে। রামকৃষ্ণ বলিয়া দুবাহু তুলিয়া, রামকৃষ্ণ বলিয়া দুবাহু তুলিয়া, নাচিয়া নাচিয়া বেড়াও রে। রামকৃষ্ণ বলিয়া দুবাহু তুলিয়া, রামকৃষ্ণ বলিয়া দুবাহু তুলিয়া, নাচিয়া নাচিয়া বেড়াও রে। রামকৃষ্ণ বলিয়া দুবাহু তুলিয়া, রামকৃষ্ণ বলিয়া দুবাহু তুলিয়া, নাচিয়া নাচিয়া বেড়াও রে। ভজ রামকৃষ্ণ, কহ রামকৃষ্ণ, লব রামকৃষ্ণের নাম রে। ভজ রামকৃষ্ণ, কহ রামকৃষ্ণ, লব রামকৃষ্ণ। jopile hai Ramakrishna bhajile. Ramakrishna bhajile, Ramakrishna jopile hai Ramakrishna bhajile, Ramakrishna jopile hai dukhero avashan re. Ramakrishna bhajile, Ramakrishna jopile hai dukhero avashan re. Ramakrishna bhajile, Ramakrishna jopile hai Ramakrishna bhajile, Ramakrishna jopile hai dukhero avashan re. Bhaj Ramakrishna, Bhaj Ramakrishna, Lord Ramakrishna Ram re. Bhaj Ramakrishna, Bhaj Ramakrishna, Lord Ramakrishna Ram re. Jai Jana Ramakrishna bhaje, se hai amatan re. Jai Jana Ramakrishna bhaje, se hai amatan re. Bhaj Ramakrishna, Bhaj Ramakrishna, Lord Ramakrishna Ram re. Bhaj Ramakrishna, Bhaj Ramakrishna, Lord Ramakrishna Ram re. Last, before we do a small worship, the how the grace of the Master is still very much flowing in the world, how he is very much alive. That regarding this, I will just quote Swami Vivekananda as well as Swami Shivanandaji Maharaj. So, in Belur Swami Vivekananda once said to his disciple, the same disciple, Sharat Chandra Chakravarti, he says, those who have seen Sri Ramakrishna are really blessed. Their family and birth have become purified by it. All of you will also get his vision. The very fact that you have come here shows that you are very near to him. Nobody has been able to understand who came on earth as Sri Ramakrishna. Even his own nearest devotees have no real clue to it. But all will understand it afterwards. Then I will quote Swami Shivananda. He writes to a monk. He says, you have sought the refuge of the one who is God incarnate, the deliverer of sinners, the greatest spiritual teacher of this age, and all merciful. I can tell you with certainty that you will progress spiritually. Go on calling on him heart and soul and praying with utmost earnestness. You will find that love will fill your heart. Pray to him earnestly for faith, devotion and love, and you are sure to get his blessings. Then one day once when Swami Shivananda had visited Chennai, that is in South India, he was talking with some devotees. So he told them, you have gained shelter with Sri Ramakrishna as a result of good deeds performed in many past lives. Don't let this opportunity go by. Make the Master your life's ideal. This will enable you to realize God in this very life. One who surrenders wholeheartedly to the Master, who has full faith that he is God himself and that he has assumed a body only for the good of the world. Those who have this faith have no reason to fear. He will certainly be freed from the cycle of birth and death and gain refuge at the Master's feet. The name of the Master is the greatest mantra of this age. By repeating the name of the Master, one will reap the benefits of repeating the name of Sri Rama as well as Sri Krishna. The Master came only to liberate one and all. So now we will just have a small worship and I will play that Sri Ramakrishna Nam Sankirtanam so that you can sing.
Ramakrishna Sara Bhakti Geeta Puja Ramakrishna Krishna Radha Yukta Radhikaya Mana Ramakrishna Parabrahma Parashakti Jagarupa Ramakrishna Paramaraya Jagati Devadi Ramakrishna Loka Shikshanam Vihaya Moksha Kama Ramakrishna Dakshinesha Kalikarjanadinirata Ramakrishna Bhaktihina Rasamani Laditavana Krishna Vivade Krite Vidavachalam Manora